guys, what's up? It's me, Brianna, and I am back again with another video, and a very requested video, may I say. So if you can't tell by the title, this video, I'm just going to be very straightforward, is going to be about periods. It's going to be a period 101 video. Now, hopefully we're all girls here. Hopefully there are no pervy guys watching, because that would be, yeah, just no. But anyways, yeah, this video was super requested. I was like contemplating whether or not doing one, because I know some people from my school, like actually everyone from my school knows about my YouTube, and some people might think I'm weird, but you know what? I love you guys, so I'm gonna do this for you guys. I don't really care what other people think. I'm gonna do this for y'all. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I just have a bunch of period stuff laying down here, and I'm just gonna tell you guys about the female cycle. This is already going bad. Anyways, let's just get started. Okay, so now it is time to talk about the lovely topic that everybody loves to talk about, which is periods. Now, let me just start by saying, if you're uncomfortable by me talking about this, you can leave, because, I mean, I don't think it's weird. All girls have it. If you haven't started yours yet, then that's probably why you're watching this, or maybe you have and you just want to know more about periods. But I've been on my period, let me go ahead and say this, for about almost 4 years now, or 3.5, almost 4 years. I started when I was 11 years old. And yeah, I'm just gonna blatantly say that they suck, and being 11 and starting my period that young, it was horrifying, but I'm almost 14 now, so I've gotten through, you know, all the period stuff, and I'm used to it now. But yeah, I'm just gonna be telling you guys about it. Now, let's just start off by saying some people are early bloomers and some people are late bloomers. Like, you can start, I know some people that start like at the age of 10, and you can start at 18 even. Like, I know some people that have started at 18, you can start at 15, 14, you know, but I happen to start at 11, so that's kind of my experience with it. But now, moving on, none of that's out of the way, moving on to what you guys probably want to know most about the pads and the tampons and everything that goes on with periods. So, personally, I have just a ton of stuff laid out right here. I'm going to start out by talking about tampons, because that's probably what everyone's most terrified about. You don't have to use tampons if you don't want to. They make pads. You don't have to use tampons unless you absolutely have to if you want to go swimming or something. I hate tampons, okay? Yes, they're easier, but I hate them. I hate them, and I'm not gonna lie, they hurt like crap. Tampons are, you're sticking something up you, and that's just uncomforting to even say, like, oh, but anyways, I personally like pads, so that's what I'm going to start out with first. So, there's a ton of different brands of pads. There's a ton of different brands you can get. There's Always, like Kotex, you guys have seen it in the stores, so, but personally, I like the brand Always. That's what I've always used, you know, no pun intended, but that's the brand that I've always used ever since I started my period. I was like, Mom, what's the best brand to use? And, you know, just kind of look, you know, talk to your mom about it, because your mom obviously has been through this too. But anyways, like I said, what I like is the brand Always. Now, usually when you first start out with your period, like when I first started out, I wasn't really bleeding. It was more of brown stuff, if you know what I mean. Well, it was like blood, but it wasn't like heavy flow, so I just used a smaller pad. You know, they make pads for heavy flow and they make pads for light flow. So these are the pads that I used to start out with. They're just the Always Teen pads. So they just look like this, and you guys probably know what a pad looks like, but this is just what it looks like. It's yellow packaging, and then it's just a pad, and you put this on your underwear, and then some of them have wings, which I like the ones that have wings. That way, if, you know, it slides, it won't. Okay, you get what I'm saying. But these ones just have wings right here. That way you can tuck them under the sides of your underwear, and it's really helpful. Personally, it's just personal preference if you want the wings or not. But yeah, usually when you first start your period, you will not have heavy flow. At least I did, and that's coming from personal experience. So I just recommend using some light pads, or light flow pads. Okay, now for when you're more into your period and you're gonna start having heavy flow, like I had about light flow for about, let's see, 2 months when I first started my period. And my periods, let me just say, when you first start your period, periods are going to be very irregular. They're not going to be on schedule at all. Like, I would even skip a period 1 month. So if that happens to you, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it, I promise. It's totally normal. Even your doctor will say it's irregular, it's gonna happen. Until until you're on your period for about a year and a half, 2 years, they're not going to be irregular. So just don't get worried about it. So that means like your flow is going to be irregular. Sometimes you'll have heavy flow, sometimes you'll have light flow. You're not going to know typically how your body's going to react until, like I said, you've been on your period for about a year to 2 years. So if you happen to have heavy flow, obviously have you know, heavier pads. Duh, Brianna. But I have heavy flow. I have heavy flow, and yeah, that's because, like I said, I've been on my period for like almost 4 years now, so I have heavy flow. So these are the pads that I use now, and I personally like to use. Again, they're always, like I said, that's the brand that I love. So these are the more longer pads, they're like the overnight ones, because when you have heavy flow, you have to have the longer ones because, well, at least that's what I think, because, I mean, I like it better, but I just use these ones, are the long ones. And again, they have the wings. Like I said, it's personal preference if you want wings or not. It's really all up to you. But if you have heavy flow like Senorita, then you will need to use these. And yeah, I mean, it's all up to you. You don't have to have pads with wings. You don't even have to wear pads at all. But that's just out of the way for people who would like to wear pads. Now moving on to tampons. Oh my goodness. Okay, tampons. Now, same thing with pads. They have tampons for different types of flow, whether it's really light flow, medium flow, or heavy flow. So here's 3 tampons that I have here, and like I said, they make tons of different tampon brands. Just find the ones that work for you. Like I said, my brand is the brand Always, Infinity, or Always, you know. So I like the Infinity line from them, like for the pads and stuff. So if you're a person that is a little bit older, because I do not recommend using tampons when, like, if you start your period very young, like I did at 11, I didn't use tampons when I started out because, no girl, like, I was too young. I was like horrified by even having my period. So yeah, anyways, so just use tampons if you would like to. So I have 3 different tampons here, one's for different flow sizes, so I'll go ahead and open them for you if you don't know what a tampon looks like, which I bet all of you watching this do. But this one, I'm pretty sure this is the one for the most heavy flow, as you can see, because it's a wider and bigger. And yeah, you just, yeah, okay, I messed it up, but you stick it up you, and then you go like that, and then you, that's a tampon. Oh gosh. This is the one for heavy flow. But usually, like I said, when you start out, you probably won't even have to worry about tampons. Like, honestly, don't even worry about it. Anyways, moving on. If, like I said, this is just for people who really want to use tampons. This is the one for medium flow, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So it's just a little bit smaller, and it's like longer, but it's still, it's smaller, so it won't hurt as much. But they do hurt. I'm not even gonna lie about that. They hurt, but I mean, you'll get used to it once you use them, like for about a year or whatever, or for about a couple months. So, yep, that's that one for medium flow, and I think this yellow one, I could be wrong, is the one for light flow. Yep, this is the one that's just a little bit smaller than that one, or actually no, this is the one for medium flow, and this is the one for, so I'll just go ahead and do like a comparison. So the heavy flow one, the medium flow one, and the light flow one, they're all purple, the same color, but you know, they're just bigger. So those are tampons. Yeah, I'm not really gonna go in detail because I feel like, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. You pull it out of the package, you stick it up, and then you just let it flow. You have your period. Okay, I'm so awkward when it comes to this type of stuff. I'm trying to explain this in the best way possible, so sorry. I've never done a video like this or gotten asked to, so I'm sorry for being very mumbly. But yeah, just pick what, honestly, at the end of the day, just pick what suits you best. Like I said, if you're just starting out with your period, I totally recommend pads, and I still use pads. Like, I don't like using tampons. Like, I use pads more than I use tampons, so I mean, it's all up, it's personal preference and how you want to, what works best for you and your body, and if you could tolerate, you know, sticking something up you, then do that. But yeah, so now moving on to the last thing that has to do with like pads and tampons and stuff. When you're off your period, sometimes you can have discharge that's like brownish reddish, but it's just discharge. It's not actually being on your period. It's breakthrough bleeding, as my doctor called it, because yeah, it's breakthrough bleeding. So when that happens, you don't have to wear a full-on pad. I've learned that. You can just wear a panty liner. Again, this is from the brand Always, and it's just a panty liner that you stick to your underwear just like you would do with a pad, because no one wants to wear a tampon when they're off their period but they still have like breakthrough bleeding, and no one wants to still be wearing a pad. So it's going to be like brown or either clear stuff that you're going to have just after your period, or even before your period you can have clear stuff. Like that happened to me too. But I just use a pad for that because you don't want it getting on your underwear, and sometimes it can be a lot of discharge. And it can go through your underwear sometimes, so that's not cute. So just have a panty liner with you. Definitely recommend that because that's happened to me many times, and I thought it was like starting my period, but it wasn't. So yeah, now that all the pad and tampon stuff is out of the way, let's move on to the more feminine stuff like bath stuff to use when you're on your period, and most of all, cramps. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get into that first because this is probably one of the most asked questions, like cramps. What are cramps like? Do cramps hurt? Yes, cramps hurt. When I first started my period, cramps would regulate more. They wouldn't hurt as bad once I got like, more used to my period and I've been on it for longer. Like now I barely have cramps, but I still get them, like menstrual cramps, that's what they call them. But if you get cramps, take medicine. You can either take Advil or this right here, Advil, or this right here, which is Midol. This is what I take. Now when I first started on my period, I will mention that I took the Midol Teen, not the Midol Complete, but now, like I said, my doctor said I could switch to this because the Midol Teen for me just wasn't helping, and neither was Advil. But this Midol Complete right here is strictly made for people who are on their period and people who have, let's see, it says cramps, bloating, fatigue, backaches, and headaches. And yep, that's a lot of the symptoms that you will get when you are on your period is cramps. You will bloat like a balloon, Lord have mercy. I would stay bloated like throughout my whole period, and it was just horrible. And another question that I want to mention is periods can last up to 5 to 7 days. That's what it says everywhere online, and that's basically what it's lasted for me. Mine, when I first started out, my period usually lasted for 7 days, and like I said, everything is going to be irregular, so you're not gonna like have a set schedule of it lasting 7 days. A lot of times mine would last 5 days, and then some days they would last 3, and then some days they would last 6. Some days they would last the whole 7 days. So yeah, if it's any longer than 7 days, just contact your doctor, because I think sometimes if it's over like 10 days, you should contact your doctor or whatever. But yeah, so during that 7-day period or that 5-day period, however long your period lasts, take some Midol. This stuff will be your lifesaver, I promise. It saved me so many times. Yeah, just take your Midol because, or your Advil or your medicine to help cramps, because cramps hurt really bad and they're not pleasant. So now moving on to when you're on your period, you're going to be bleeding so much down there, and it's going to get a little dirty, and you're going to have to make sure you clean very well and be hygienic down there, because if you don't, it's gross, and it's going to be gross. So clean down there. Now, one of my personal favorites to clean down there with when I take a shower and just make sure, I get all the gross blood stains and everything off down there. I like to use the Summer's Eve Cleansing Wash for Sensitive Skin in the scent Delicate Blossom, and this is made for like vaginal stuff, I think is what they call it. Yeah, you guys can look it up. I'll put a link to their website down below, but they have like vaginal wipes and like period wipes and stuff, and just stuff to clean your vagina. Yep, that's what it's called. Don't even think I'm weird, because we're all girls, so let's be real. We're all getting older, let's be real, okay? But yeah, use that, and it smells really good too. Like it's a nice smell, and it's very sensitive down there, because I personally do not like using like body washes or like really fragrancy strong body washes like the ones from Bath & Body Works, because they will irritate me down there and make me itch, and that works really well. So I definitely recommend the Summer's Eve. And again, like I said, you're gonna stink down there sometimes. Even if you do wash down there, sometimes you can still stink. So I like to use the FDs, which means Feminine Discreet Sensual Hypoallergenic Feminine Deodorant Spray, which you just get it and you spread your legs and you spray down there, and it smells like it's the baby powder one, which I think they have more scents, but this is just it right here. And yeah, it just helps with like not stinking down there, because you don't want to stink around everyone at school. And yeah, again, bringing that up, when you start your period, like when I first started my period, I stayed home from school for like 2 days because I was so terrified. But yeah, I don't really think there's really any much to answer. It's basically just, that's the life of being on your period. If you guys want like a more in-depth thing, comment down below if you have any questions, because I will make sure that I answer them. If any questions weren't answered in this video, I'm sorry. Like if you had more questions about periods, I'm not the guru of periods. Ask your mom if you have any more in-depth questions. But I think I covered just about basically what needs to be covered. I'm sorry if I'm awkward, but I don't know, that's just how I am. I mean, I'm not really awkward about periods, but I'm not fluent when it comes to them. But I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I just found out I reached 20,000 today, and I almost cried, like legit. Oh, I love you guys so much. You guys are the best freaking subscribers in the world. I love you guys with all my heart, and I have something big coming for you. It's not September yet, like I said, it's coming in September, so just wait, please, be patient. I love you guys, and I hope you enjoyed. If this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up, and yeah, bye!